You know, it's been a long time coming, but I've always wondered what the Museum of Aviation Warbird collection here in Pigeon Forge is like. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, gosh, I got tongue-tied. What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with a rather aviation-related vlog. The sun is in my eyes, but that's not the point. But today, you guys, we are out at the Aviation Museum here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Or it may actually be Sevierville. Well, between Sevierville and Pigeon Forge, we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, guys, they have an amazing collection of warplanes, old planes, planes like that. And really, this one's been on my list for a very long time. It just feels like every time I'm up here, I seem to miss it. But anyway, guys, before we go in, they've got some old war Jeeps for sale. Let's take a look at them. As you all know, I just recently got myself a car. But you know what? For $1,000, I could have had an old military Jeep. I mean, granted, I don't know if it still runs or not. And it does look a bit beaten up. Those seats would definitely have to be refurbished. So I guess maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. Still, that's pretty darn cool Jeep. Did I say cheap or Jeep? I think I said Jeep. And they got another one right here. Looks like this one is $2,800. So I imagine it runs. That's the big word. Runs. But you know what? Regardless, I mean, it's pretty, well, I'm not going to open that, but it's pretty cool to see what they look like on the inside. It kind of goes on up from there on price, like this one right here. This one's worth about 10 grand, but I imagine it probably runs if it's worth 10K. And that one right there, the M37, is for $2,200, but again, it looks like it's more or less a fixer-upper. But, you know, for like a car collector, this would actually be a pretty fun job to do. Huh, they still have the seats pretty much. But I think the coolest one that they have here is this Alvin Volunteer Fire Department one. You can tell that it's definitely old. Because, you know, they don't make them like this anymore. You know, they're mostly just these big loud red vehicles. This one's kind of from a bygone era. And the seats look way better too. So I'm wondering if maybe this one's for sale, or this one's sold, because it doesn't have a for sale sign on it. Still, that is one cool Jeep or fire truck. And right beside it, they've got another fire department one. Let me see. United Volunteer Fire Department Brush 1409, on loan from the state of Tennessee Division of Forestry. Well, it's worth 5 grand. I'd say it's pretty cool. I mean, probably still runs. Anyway, somehow this vlog started out as a video, or a car vlog, or a Jeep vlog, I guess you could say, but it's supposed to be about planes. So we're gonna go inside and we're gonna make it about planes now. And it is right through these doors. And obviously, no food or drink. Now, a cool thing about this museum, you guys, is it's only $15 for admission, which I think, given for what all is here, is pretty nice. But if you're if you're a veteran, it goes down to like $10 for a discount like that. So if y'all want to come here, just note that admission's not all that bad, and I'll say, like, they've already got like some amazing history here. Like, we haven't even gotten all the way in, but here at this aviation museum, they have a piece of the USS Arizona, the infamous USS Arizona that went down in Pearl Harbor. I mean, a lot of lives were lost. A lot of men lost their lives, but here is a piece of that naval vessel. And it is here in this case. Still continuing to tell its story. And right beneath it, where it would have come from, where this piece, it would have come from this area, this highlighted area right here. I mean, this, especially if you're like a World War II person that really likes history, I mean, this is awesome. Just like I said, they have this. And right next to that amazing piece of history, they've also got some uniforms of some of these brave aviators. Like, this is World War II. This one is World War I. Maybe this is, let me see. This one is Silk Flare Chute from the U.S. Army Corps. It's 1935. So I believe it would start. You got World War I. This would be World War II. This would also be World War II. Of course, you have our brave women in uniform. So it just kind of goes down the line of all the different uniforms that these men wore. And that looks cool. Kind of makes me think of Top Gun, which I think maybe it would be based around that same time, I think. Maybe not. And as I was saying, this museum is very, very large. But they have some amazing stuff here. Why don't we begin with the first decade of flight, where it all began with the Wright brothers. It was in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, that they established the very first plane. It's so interesting to see like how far we have come versus present day. Just look at that. That's how it all worked. For the Model B, the ideal of the great drink, all the different forms that they had. Model R. Who would have thought that the idea of these two brothers, the idea that they had, go on to change like life as we know it here on this earth. That's pretty cool. They've got some Chaplin stuff right here, and right next to it got a piece of this plane. This is from Gnome Model B. This French Gnome Model B rotary engine was built in the United States by the General Vehicle Company of Long Island City, New York. It was type rotary, having only one valve in the cylinder head. Huh. Well, that is really cool that they have that here. And here in this case, they've got some stuff from World War II. That's from the Knoxville News Sentinel when the U.S. declared war on Japan, and thus, well, got itself involved with World War II by taking out a madman in Germany and taking out a madman that was in Japan. And just here in a minute, this is what we'll be checking out. But this is the hangar. Like, these are all the planes that they have. I mean, a lot of these planes still operate or at least what the lady up front was telling me, that a lot of these planes that you see, they do still operate and fly at air shows. And they've got some Nazi memorabilia right here, just talking about some of the history of that horrible regime. As I was mentioning, it was all run by a madman. But aside from that, this case has a lot of aviation pieces, like this one right here. This leather jacket, this A2 leather jacket, was worn by Captain William Holyfield, a decorated P-20 or P-47 pilot. It's pretty cool. It's just cool to think, you know, especially thinking about the story these men told. Yeah, this one's or another one dedicated to World War II. It wasn't the Great War. The Great War was World War I, but this one, World War II, is still talked about to this day. Huh. Navy, U.S. Navy teacher, British ship models. Oh, and this is cool. Look at that. Look at the size of that engine. Especially, this is a cool diorama of what all they have. You see Bugs McKay poses in full flight suit next to his P-47 Crott Hunter in Christchurch, England, 1944. On loan from R. Neil Melton. Dude, that thing's cool. I like how they have or I won't say a dummy, but a figure there, like, you know, they're doing their research on it. So let's see what else I've got here. Oh, that's cool. Instrument panel constructed by Horizon Avionics Inc. That's cool. Let's see. Huh. It's an interesting piece that they have overhead. I don't know too much about it though. Aerodynamics. I've seen these for sale at antique stores, especially like one of these big ones right here. A wooden propeller on loan from North Central Institute. But I think probably the coolest thing that they have, or at least right beside that, one of the coolest things they have here at the museum is these all came from a NASA wind tunnel. Like, these blades are gigantic. I mean, it's probably each blade is about 12 feet long. But it shows like that's what it was from, a 1941 wind tunnel. NASA Langley 16-foot transonic wind tunnel blades. The 16-foot transonic tunnel was originally known as the High-Speed Tunnel HST, first major U.S. government wind tunnel testing center located in Hampton, Virginia. Approval for construction was granted in 1939. The new 16-foot high-speed tunnel became operational in November of 1941 and began testing on December 5th, 1941, just 2 days before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. So, dude, I mean, these blades, like I said, I'm just awestruck by how big these things are. And again, just size comparison. I stand about 5'10". I mean, just one of those blades is double my height. They have another engine right here. Looks even bigger than the one we saw just a few minutes ago, that other display. The Wasp Major 4360 engine was the largest air-cooled, piston-driven aircraft engine ever mass-produced. Developed by Pratt & Whitney, this radical engine was extremely powerful, generating 3,500 horsepower at 2,700 RPM for takeoff. Just gives you an idea. One of these engines, darn, that is a lot of power in one of those planes. A lot of power. And here's another, well, one for memorializing the men in uniform who were also great men of faith. Got the Purple Heart. We've got an American Defense Service Medal, Campaign Medal, Victory Medal. Of course, you've got the man himself hanging there on the cross. What did I say? The man hanging there on the cross. Of course, you've got communion cups. You know, I know for some of my friends that view my videos, I know they're not necessarily people of faith, but I do have a lot of friends who would really appreciate this. Got a hymnal chest right there. Please do not touch. Huh. Oh, that's pretty neat. And in this corner, they have the Tennessee Aviation Hall of Fame. Kind of tells a lot of these people's stories. Although I don't know too much about the Aviation Hall of Fame, just figured we'd at least take a second, look at some of the people who are behind all this. It makes me think a lot about the tow truck Hall of Fame that's in Chattanooga. And now that we've seen a lot of what is to see here in the museum portion of the museum, let's check out the hangar. Let's check out these amazing planes. I know I'm ready. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is cool. Now I'm the only one here today. I guess it pays for it to be the off season. Oh my goodness. Look at this right here. It's Evel Knievel. Oh my gosh, that is a name I haven't heard in a long time. You know, Evel Knievel, he used to be the guy that used to do dumb things, and he would do records and stuff. I think he passed away in 2007, I think. 2006, 2007. But yeah, that's one of his rockets. This is really cool. This is a MiG-17F. You see, this is Magoyan Gervik MiG-17. It was, it mostly served during the Vietnam War. And look at the boom boom that they would drop from these planes. Now, a cool thing about this is I actually do have a shell of one of these, a Vietnamese bombshell. But yeah, this is one of those planes that would drop those kind of things. Now, I am still trying to sell my Vietnamese bombshell, but I'm having trouble getting rid of it. I mean, they're perfectly legal to own. It's just war memorabilia. At least, I think so anyway. This just gives you a perspective on how big helicopter blades are. I've got some helicopter blades right here, the front ones. Now, you do not want to be on the receiving end on one of those. That would be very bad. I've got another plane right here. You see, this one is a Beech T-34B Mentor, purchased by the U.S. Navy during the 1950s as a primary flight trainer. After the initial purchases of the 423 T-34Bs, the Navy took 334 of them and light attack purposes. There we go. I probably should have read a little bit more into that. But still, that's cool to hear the history on these things. There's the third engine that they have on display. They've got some old cars. In the background, it does look like they've got a few other things. That's cool. You don't see old cars like that anymore. And those type of cars, they're pretty darn expensive. But like, in a perfect world, I wish I could have one of those. Just to say, but I'm not that wealthy. Or not yet, anyway. I dream. And I just walked beneath this, just overhead. Look at this huge Red Bull plane. I mean, that thing is gigantic. Like, I almost didn't recognize it. Dude, what does it say about it? Let's see, the HU-16 Albatross. I think, yeah, this would be the Albatross. History: inspired by the performance of the gunman Goose during World War II, the U.S. Navy solicited gunmen to design a significantly larger amphibian with longer range in 1944. But still, an H-16 Albatross. This thing is big. Like, it just takes a lot just to even like get it all in full frame. I'm really liking this museum. This museum is cool. Now I wonder what this one's all about. Lieutenant America. And obviously it's got some age on it. We'll see what it says about it. Robert Semeka on the wing of 139-665 in NKP, Thailand, 1972. Robert Semeka named 139-665 Sharon Sider after Sharon, his wife at the time. Sider, mythical half-man, half-beast, was picked because it was started with S and went well with the name Sharon. Lieutenant America was the name on before being assigned to Rob Semeka. So that's some cool history behind this plane. Actually, speaking of that, right beside it, there's Sharon Sitar. Oh, is it Sitar? Oh, I got that wrong. My bad. That's cool. In a way, it makes you think about... I don't know. When I see it, I kind of think about, like, Indiana Jones, you know, the first one when, you know, it was going and the German guy got unalived by the blades. That wasn't a pretty scene. And I guess they've been changing the oil on it, because there's some oil, like the oil pans, but that may not be it. Maybe it's leaking oil, but probably not. I mean, all things with engines that do run on oil, they do have to be changed at some point. Kind of cool that we saw that. Or kind of cool that we're seeing this today, I should say. So let's check out the other planes that they got here. See, this is a Beech 18 RC-45J, and doesn't really say when. Well, no, 1940. Very, very shiny. And anyway, you guys, like I said, if y'all want to like read more up on these planes or see it, it's only $15 in Pigeon Forge. Kind of beats a ticket to Dollywood, if you ask me. And this one right here, the Hunter, I think I'm writing that, the Hunter XV, looks like it's a P-47D. The Republic P-47 Thunderbolt, the Jug. Sir, let's see, it looks like it was, the Thunderbolts were phased out in 1955. It looks like they were redesigned in 1948 So yeah, this is probably what these planes would have looked like during World War II. Imagine fighting Japanese pilots, German pilots, the greatest generation. Many of them still alive, which is pretty darn cool. I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of them are in their 90s and in their hundreds, but they're still doing pretty darn well, or at least a lot of them are. It's kind of cool to see like how medicine and stuff like that has changed. And that is a really, really big wing. Like really big. You see a Gulfstream IVSP. You see aeronautics, structure, built in 1939 to produce Stinson aircraft. The Nashville, Tennessee plant later became part of the Consolidated Aircraft Corporation. See, above is a I guess it would be G6. Wing box was prepared for transport by the Aeronautics Corporation to the Tennessee Museum of Aviation in 2002. Dang, that is big. And right over here they've got the Wicked Wabbit. Although it doesn't necessarily look like a wabbit, it looks more like an angry chicken or rooster. Probably an angry rooster. Pre-47 Thunderbolt was the largest single-engine fighter of World War II. It served in a number of roles, including fighter escort, strafing, bombing, and long-range escort. It was used by Britain, Brazil, France, Mexico, Soviet Union, and the United States. The aircraft was known for being rugged and for bringing its pilots home even after suffering extensive damage. So practically these things were, dare I say, the Ford of their time. You know, like a Ford truck, you know, can take a beating and still keep on going. Although I've got a few car friends who'd probably say different to that. And this propeller looked like it took a beating. I think it's giant though. You see Pratt & Whitney double wasp engine wreckage. This artifact on display is an engine from P-47 Thunderbolt that served in the Pacific Theater during World War II. It was recovered from a crash site in the Pacific. The engine wreckage and cockpit wreckage displayed nearby is from 2 different aircraft. So cool. This came from a wreck site in the Pacific. I mean, obviously you can tell where it ended and where it began. But I do really like stuff like this, especially, I mean, if you didn't know the story behind it, you just assume that it's a piece of junk, but it's not. I mean, this plane went down fighting in the Pacific Theater. That's pretty darn cool. And they've got some more parts right over here. You see, that's an L-bird, for the skeleton frame of an L-bird. That's kind of cool to see the skeleton of one. And you've also got some what would that be? Like, I guess it would be kind of like a Jeep in a way. I've just never seen a vehicle like that before. Like, I guess, what would the engine be beneath it? Or, okay, that one kind of has me confused a little bit. See, this is from a West German Army plane built in 1952. Got the Iron Cross. So I guess that even, well, then again, I mean, like, Germany was politically well separated during that time. And this weird looking plane, this is a OV-100 Bronco, North American Rockwell. Huh. that is interesting to see something like that. I can't say that I've seen a plane like that before. It's got a weird shape behind. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I'm a moron. That's the back piece of it. Chaka Zulu, KwaZulu RSA. Yeah. Okay, now I got a better picture of it. Okay. I didn't realize that that its rear blades look like that. Okay. That's pretty darn cool. And what I wouldn't do to have one of those. Imagine all the places I could go, even though I'm not really big into four-wheeling. Let me see, this is a half-track, generally regarded as the workhorse of the United States Armored Infantry Divisions. The M3 half-track was introduced in 1942 and used throughout the duration of World War II. It's got a pretty darn cool story. This is a M45 4.5 or .50 caliber Maxim mount gun turret. I'm glad that they've also got some World War II stuff here. Like I said, that is pretty bad A. This one right here, this is a Lockheed T-33, and it was built. Looks like it made its debut in 1944. Originally designed from the P-80, the T-33 Shooting Star was used to service as an operational trainer. Early versions of the plane had two internal 12.7mm machine guns and two hand points on the wing structure. I really like the sleekness to it. I bet that thing could fly. Well, it could still fly. Still, wouldn't it be fun to be in one of those things? And dude, that is cool. Well, maybe it's just how it's set up, or how it's on display. But that is a cool plane. What does it say about it? Let me see. Ain't misbehaving. Captain Jesse Fry, February 2011. But this P-51D, North American P-51 Mustang. The Mustang at war. North American Aviation P-51 Mustang was one of World War II's most successful and recognizable aircraft. It was an American long-range, single-seat fighter aircraft originally designed as a medium-altitude fighter for the British. As well as being economical to produce, the Mustang was a fast, well-made, and highly durable aircraft. The prototype first flew in 1940. So yeah, this is one of the most iconic planes of World War II. It could take a beating, and it could just keep on going. Quite honestly, they do not make them like that anymore. Or at least I'd like to think. I mean, it's like I've noticed that the older stuff tends to last a lot longer than newer things. And that's cool. They have one of those at that helicopter tours place not too far down the road. I know, I saw the inside of one back in, well, last year. UH-334G. Looks like they have that, or the engine open on that one. Just look at this. That is also another big boom boom. That has been, what he called, or it's been converted over. It's been retired. It's no longer a boom boom, but a shell of a boom boom. That's a pretty cool looking 1728. Looks like it's a little bit worn out though, but that kind of stuff gives it character. Let me see, this is McCoy Gurvich MiG-17 Frisco, and it was built it debuted on December 30th of 1947. So just after World War II, these type of planes saw flight. And you might want to be careful, because you would not want to get stabbed by that. Why do I feel like I'm hearing the songs of Top Gun, even though it's nowhere near that model? Let me see, a MiG-21 was in production through 1992. My thing is, I don't want to get hit by that. That would not be fun. Yeah. They used these things up until about 1992. And when, like in the comments below, when did Top Gun come out? Not the one from like a couple of years ago, but the other one. Maybe that was from around the right time then. I'm guessing, as I think it came out in the 80s. I want to say it's the 80s. The Fighting First. They have like, I think this is actually the same Jeep, but I remember watching like a Facebook video, and like they would drop these boxes with these type of Jeeps, and when the Jeeps would like fall in the boxes and the soldiers were deployed, they could put one of these together in about 20 minutes, maybe an hour, something like that. Let's see, an R-37 turbojet engine. Those are some pretty big engines. And this is a really, really large flag. I mean, really, really large. That thing probably stands about 30 feet. That is a big old glory right there. Very big. Oh, and that's nice. They have a recreation of a mess hall. Camp Forest, U.S. Army, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Got some stuff in there. Oh, you know what? That's not a recreation at all. That's one of the parts of the actual building. Okay, that's pretty cool. That is really cool that they have this here. No telling if walls could talk, no telling what they could tell. And this is a pretty cool photo op, although it looks like we can't really go into it today. But it's pretty cool that they have this here to give you an idea of what it's like to sit in one of these. Let me see. The Douglas A4 Seahawk. Kind of tells a little bit more about it. Look at this old Army helicopter. Okay, that's cool to see one of those. I want to say like it was probably a different model, but they had something similar on Pawn Stars that one time. And it was like stupid expensive. Well, I think to like put it together it was like $60,000 or $100,000 or something like that. I think they got it for like $10,000. Yeah, currently this one is under construction. But wouldn't it be so cool to fly in that? I bet that would be neat. And you know what? What a great way to end the vlog with the very first plane. Now I have seen the original Wright brothers plane in Washington D.C. I saw it when I was 13 years old. I want to say that it's slightly bigger than this one, or at least from what I remember. It was in a pretty good sized room, but that's really cool. That, I mean, imagine like back in like the probably like I want to say it was like 1910s, maybe earlier than that. We went from this to stuff like this. I mean, isn't it so amazing, like, when we put our minds together and, like, we create this amazing technology that's for the betterment, and and for a lot of other cases, not so great for humanity. It's pretty amazing. And anyway, you guys, that's going to be another vlog for another day. I hope you all enjoyed this one. I've been wanting to come out here for a while, and I'm regretting that it took me this long. Like, the Aviation Museum here in Pigeon Forge, or Sevierville, either or, this is amazing. Like, come out here. It's really, really cool, especially if you want to avoid, like, going to, like, the bit, like, Gatlinburg, even though I love Gatlinburg, but if you want to come somewhere that's equally as cool but or just as cost efficient, this is the place. Anyway, guys, remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care. Now y'all want to see more awesome videos like this. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over. See y'all in the next one. Peace.